To start by thanking the Huron-Wendat, the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Haudenosaunee, and countless other Indigenous peoples. This is their land. I am a settler, and I thank them for sharing it with me. This land is also known as Turtle Island or Dish with One Spoon. The dish is the land, and there is only one spoon. We must be mindful of how we use the land and access the dish. We must not take more than our share, so all may benefit. Nous devons prendre en compte les 7 générations à venir et les 7 générations qui étaient là avant. Nous devons prendre des mesures significatives pour la vérité et la réconciliation aujourd'hui et chaque jour. Comrades, friends, colleagues, and guests, for almost 2 years now, I have served the membership as the OSSTF BASO president. It has been my honor to do so, and I ask for your support as I offer my name to serve an additional 2 years as president. A few years ago, in my election speech for vice president, I took you on a road trip. That was shortly after the Ford government had been elected, and you might remember I said we were in for a bumpy ride. You may also recall I spoke about my time in the car on long road trips as a child and how I sat in the front because I was prone to car sickness. What was really making me ill at the time of that election speech was the thought of a conservative government and impending cuts. Less than a year ago, that government was re-elected with even more seats than the first time. The thought still makes me nauseous. Despite announcements of record investments in education, we know that the numbers actually indicate a shortfall, a reduction, and more cuts. How do we counter that? What do I propose? I propose we meet the challenge head on by making and keeping connections, by taking action, and by providing stability for the students of the province and the future of our federation. Vous m'avez permis de vous emmener dans ce voyage au cours des 2 dernières années et je vais prendre les prochaines minutes pour vous faire part de ce que nous avons fait, de ce que je prévois faire et pour mes espoirs pour l'avenir de OSSTF BASO. So fasten your seatbelt, grab a snack, some buns, meat, cheese, a juice box, or some water, and let's go for a little ride. I am Karen Littlewood. I am a mother, a wife, a friend, an amateur cook, bargain shopper, a lover of Disney and shoes, a co-conspirator, a teacher, a storyteller, a union activist, and the president of over 60,000 incredible education workers and teachers. When I first put my name forward to run for president in 2021, I was asked if I was sure I wanted to do this and was told it was going to be a challenging time and asked if I knew what I was in for. I'm not sure I could have predicted what was to come. Keep in mind, we were already a year into the pandemic at that point. And no, it hasn't been an easy time to be president, but I have felt a strong sense of obligation to the membership to be there every day, supporting your right to a safe workplace, fighting for recognition for education workers and respect for everyone working in education. En cours de route, j'ai beaucoup appris. J'ai appris de beaucoup d'entre vous. Une chose que j'ai appris, c'est qu'il est essentiel de prendre le temps de réfléchir, d'envisager ce qu'il aurait pu faire différemment est la meilleure façon d'aller l'avant. Some of my best reflections happen at 3 a.m. Thinking of how you felt, how you coped, and what you learned are 3 simple things we can all do when faced with challenges. Without challenges, without struggles, without disruption, nothing really changes. And I'm proud to say we have put many changes into effect at OSSTF over the last few years, but an especially incredible amount of change has occurred in the tenure of my presidency. We aren't doing things the way we always have. We aren't hoping the status quo will get us through. We aren't crossing our fingers and hoping things turn out okay. We are taking action, making changes, and then reflecting to continually improve. By no means have we seen the amount of change we need to, but we are also open to trying different approaches. The OSSTF Action Plan to support equity, anti-racism, and anti-oppression serves as a foundation for progress, as well as a good measure of both concrete change and continuous improvement. Il s'agit d'une carte vivante qui sert à diriger notre fédération dans le suivi de notre parcours, l'évaluation des besoins à satisfaire et l'engagement à prendre des mesures. There is regular prioritized reporting at Provincial Council. It is a standing item on weekly provincial executive meetings, and members of the provincial executive report on this in our liaison reports to your districts and bargaining units. For many conferences and events, we have added dedicated, clear pathways for equity demanding and sovereign members to attend. This is an intentional action that increases access and helps to remove barriers to engagement for marginalized members. We're advertising opportunities in many different ways, such as on social media platforms. We have asked local leaders to widely share the calls for participation to ensure we are involving more members, and that we are intentionally working to have members on committees, councils, and work groups, writing teams, and presenters that better reflect the diversity of our membership. This takes time and deliberate effort, both at provincial and local levels, but changes are already evident. And I want to thank all of you who have pointed out the need for better and pushed us to follow through. A couple of minutes ago, I listed many of the things that I am. I left out my hidden superpower. If I were in a Marvel movie, I would be called the Connector. Many of you already know this. I love nothing more than to connect members or bring districts together or connect people to improve the work that they're doing. Why reinvent the wheel if someone else has it figured out or is in the process of figuring it out? I have the privilege of seeing so many groups in action across the province, both within OSSTF and throughout the entire labor movement and beyond. And I believe we can all learn from each other. J'ai ce désir unique de rassembler les gens pour partager des ressources ou des expériences ou peut-être même simplement pour discuter avec quelqu'un qui se trouve dans une situation similaire. Nous avons une telle richesse de talents au sein de la FESO qu'il est logique de travailler ensemble quand nous le pouvons. And of course, through our new mastery of tech and Zoom, we can connect to the province all over at once. I am guessing there are many of you here today, together in this room, who met over the last few years, but only ever online. And now that you're meeting face to face, I hope you are feeling the strength of those connections. Charlene Stewart from SEIU often says to me, let's make good trouble together. Those connections help to build our confidence and make us stronger, both in our union work and in our daily jobs. We are the stability in public education. You are the members who have been working day in and day out to support and protect public education. We will continue to provide the stability that students need, that Ontario needs, despite continued attacks from a government that prioritizes highways and developers over people and public services. A government that is selling off healthcare and education to increase profits for private businesses. Schools are not grocery stores or Dollarama. There is no self-checkout line. We are part of the care economy and we provide valuable services. It takes money to offer those services, and that's why we need stable and predictable funding. That's why we need a true wage increase for our members. That's why we are fighting to protect public education. You, the members of OSSTF, inclusive of all job classes, provide stability and security for the students of the province. Those students are the future of Ontario. You, the workers, deserve to be respected and valued. A government that would appeal the Bill 124 decision, a bill that negatively impacted a majority of women workforce by limiting wage increases to 1% a year for 3 years, that type of government would rather shortchange the students and shortchange you. J'ai travaillé très fort pour informer et rappeler aux Ontariens que vous, les travailleurs de l'éducation et les enseignants, vous avez apporté la stabilité dont nous avons besoin. So what are my plans for the next 2 years? I plan to keep connecting OSSTF members, but also to maintain the connections we have in the broader labor movement and with community groups. November 2022 was an historic time, including standing together on the stage just down the hall from here with union leaders from coast to coast to coast after the announcement of the repeal of Bill 28. Des temps difficiles nous attendent et nous devrons faire appel au soutien de ce même mouvement syndical pour obtenir le respect que les travailleurs d'éducation méritent. Je continuerai à prendre des mesures pour répondre aux appels au changement, à réfléchir et à élaborer les meilleurs plans possibles pour la FESO. I look forward to working with the members of the executive you will elect this weekend to liaise with districts and to provide stability, but also to take action. This metaphorical road trip doesn't ever end. There have been so many advances for workers over the years, but there is still so much more to achieve. I look forward to making connections, taking action, and providing stability, but most of all, I look forward to working with all of you as we continue the journey together.